Hello everybody and welcome back. I know, you don't have to look at my face. You're welcome. This video is inspired by a channel called Girlfriend Reviews, where the girlfriend reviews what it's like to date someone who's playing a certain video game or watching a certain TV show. My boyfriend loves this channel and recommended that I make some videos like them, but they've already made videos about all the games that he plays and all the TV shows he watches. No offense to the couple, but they're not the type to talk much about athletics. So I saw the opportunity and I took it. This video is not a review of the UFC, but a review of what it's like to be the girlfriend of a UFC fan. If you don't already know, the UFC is the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and it is the biggest, baddest, most important promoter of mixed martial arts. In simple terms, it's two men or women beating the crap out of each other, all for our entertainment. Now, the UFC is not the average sport. It's not a regular season where you get time off from watching it. It is year-round. The fights are about once a month, and the important ones are pay-per-view, which means you're shelling out about $60 a month to watch beefy, sweaty people rearrange their facial structures. So unless your man has $60 a month, expect to spend some quality time at your local Buffalo Wild Wings. The fights start around 7 p.m. on Saturday evenings and can go pretty late, depending on how many knockouts there are. The more knockouts, the shorter the night. This means that you and your man will be spending at least an hour inside a sports bar, eyes glued to the screen, watching sweaty people break each other's faces. Expect to be ignored for this period of time, because your boyfriend will not be paying attention to you at all. In between rounds, he might talk to you about how many headshots were exchanged in the previous round, but that's about all you'll get. I recommend that you grab yourself a skinny margarita,
2 shots of vodka,
I don't know where I felt like I get a little drink around here, do you, bud?
and dig into some nachos, because you're going to be there for a while. Because there's no time off from the UFC, you have to get used to hearing about it. Luckily, though, the UFC is actually just reality TV. Everybody is a total character. If you can start paying attention to how outrageous everyone acts all the time, then you'll enjoy it just like a Keeping Up with the Kardashians. For example, Dana White is the president of the UFC. He's bright red and he can never wear a nice shirt. He will show up to work multi-millionaire and he is wearing a t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers looking, not good. Sorry, I have like a personal vendetta against Dana White and his not wearing a nice button-up shirt to work. He only has to work one night a month. Like, can't you please just wear a nice shirt to work, Dana? That's a rant for a different day, though.
Wow.
Conor McGregor, also known as a cocky little Irishman, if you ask my boyfriend's mom, will wear Gucci mink and show up late to everything while talking trash to any fighter who will listen.
They want you to give us a quick count to 10, both of you gentlemen, if you don't mind, just if you wouldn't mind counting to 10.
Nate can only count to 5. Count to 5, Nate, will you, if you can?
The soft body on him, he has a soft, flabby body.
You look like a 50-year-old retired skateboarder. I'm half black from the belly button down.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
And trying to sell his whiskey.
Proper 12. Proper Irish whiskey from a proper Irish animal.
John Jones, notorious for taking Viagra and Cialis because, well...
So
why does a guy like you need Cialis?
I have a huge cock, Joe.
It's too big?
It's too big.
And those aren't the only drugs he's into.
You're like a crackhead with a suit on.
I could look like a crackhead with a suit on, but I've never been a crackhead like you don't.
I beat you after a weekend of cocaine.
And prostitutes. I could be fat, I could not have a six-pack, but my dick works. My dick works.
John Jones has had tons of fights canceled because of this.
Go for it, go for it. Go for it, go for it, go.
Well, somebody's chipper this morning.
Oh, you guys are there all this time? I didn't see you.
Nate Diaz, the originator of the Stockton slap, talking shit in post-fight interviews and doesn't care about anything.
Nate Diaz, you just shook up the world. How's that feel?
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
The reason I was off is because everybody sucked. So I know my man's a gangster, but he ain't no West Coast gangster.
You're playing
touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail.
Derek Lewis's balls are hot.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot. I understand.
And his favorite pre-fight meal is his wife's ass.
A reporter asked a pretty normal question about what he eats prior to a fight.
Well, really. If my wife is in town, I'll eat her ass.
He has beef with Daniel Cormier because he disrespected that Popeye's chicken.
What's your issue with Daniel? I want to know too.
He disrespected that Popeye's chicken on a commercial a few years ago. But that was some bullshit. I just gotta do number 2. That's all. It's not really hurting from the kick. I just got a boo-boo. What round they rise and fine ass at? Plus all the training and all the sex I've been getting. Yeah, my body needs some time off.
Max Holloway is super Hawaiian with a very, very broken nose. Stylebender is obsessed with anime, so there's that. Khabib wrestles bears.
This is #1 bullshit.
Jorge Masvidal is known as Street Jesus, and Dana White literally won't let him fight Conor McGregor.
Would you like to fight Conor McGregor?
That fight, the president deemed it not good because they don't want like a murder charge on me, so they're not gonna allow that to happen. You know? The president himself already said it, so I mean, I don't want to go to jail for killing nobody. That's not what I want to do. I'm here to compete and beat people up, you know?
All the while, Joe Rogan is commentating between his elk hunts and DMT trips. And all of this makes for an incredibly interesting UFC. There's always something going on. Someone is always fighting with someone, especially if you follow the fighters on Twitter. There's never a dull moment. Because you're spending all this time in Buffalo Wild Wings, your boyfriend will probably also pick up a new sense of decor. Jack is taken to asking the manager at the Buffalo Wild Wings if he can take home the fight promotion poster. Your man's apartment will soon become a man cave dedicated to worshiping a half-naked Conor McGregor. This does make gift giving a lot easier around the holidays. Give him a Reebok UFC t-shirt, bottle of Proper 12, you're set. You should really get used to hearing Joe Rogan's voice.
Dude.
Not only does he commentate most fights, he talks about fighters on his podcast, and he regularly interviews fighters on his podcast. So there will be Joe Rogan experiences abound.
Boom, and we're live.
You should also get used to hearing Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen, because between Below the Belt and The Fighter and the Kid, there is a lot of MMA discussion happening on those podcasts. Luckily, though, this is one of the best parts about your boyfriend getting into the UFC. You get to go watch some comedy shows and some comedy specials that you wouldn't even know were going to be wonderful. Jack and I's most favorite ever live comedy experience was seeing Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen in San Francisco. It was amazing. And I literally had never heard Brendan Schaub's comedy before. And I was like, yeah, I guess I trust you. Let's buy tickets. And it all worked out. It was great. So not only will you hear Joe Rogan in his podcast and his live UFC commentary, he is also the voice of UFC 3, which your boyfriend is gonna buy because it's like $20 on the Xbox store. And him and his roommate will get drunk and play it all night long. Your boyfriend's also gonna take up jiu-jitsu classes and will come home with various bruises all over his body and neck. He will insist they're from jiu-jitsu, but you can never be too sure. Worse than the new bruises is when he decides to put you in an armbar to practice his new moves that he learned in jiu-jitsu today. Expect to get half your makeup rubbed off into the carpet and cry a little bit to be dramatic. Jenna Marbles and her boyfriend are into MMA and jiu-jitsu though, so you should just be excited that you have anything in common with Jenna Marbles. Beyond your boyfriend's newfound need to wrestle and drink whiskey, the UFC is a really fun sport to follow. Some fighters' trash talk is particularly hilarious, and it's a year-round, monthly excuse to have a date night at a sports bar. There are tons of characters to pay attention to and fights to look forward to, and heck, you might even end up liking some of the fighters. If nothing else, your boyfriend will now know how to throw a punch in case a drug addict ever attacks you. I don't know if that fear is just me. These California homeless are on a different strain of meth, I swear. All in all, the UFC is a wonderful sport to watch, and I recommend it to you and your boyfriend. That's all I have for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed this different style of content. I know it's not my usual thing. I'm trying to mix it up. I want to keep it interesting for myself and for all of you. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.